The clock strikes midnight. Fireworks explode across the sky. People embrace, champagne flows, and social media floods with messages of hope and transformation. But somewhere in that same moment, someone is asleep, or reading a book, or treating it like any other Tuesday night. They're not depressed. They're not cynical. They simply don't feel what everyone else seems to feel. And for years, they've wondered if something is wrong with them. Today, we're exploring the psychology of people who don't celebrate New Year. What makes some minds immune to the collective excitement? Is it healthy detachment or something else entirely? Let's find out. To understand why some people don't care about New Year, we first need to understand why most people do. Psychologists have identified something called the fresh start effect. Research from the Wharton School shows that people are more likely to pursue goals after temporal landmarks. Birthdays, Mondays, the first of the month, and especially New Year's Day. Why? Because these dates create a psychological boundary. They allow us to mentally separate our old self from our new self. It's like closing one chapter and opening another. The slate feels clean, and that feeling generates motivation. For most people, this works beautifully. The ritual provides structure. The collective energy creates accountability. The symbolism makes change feel possible. But here's what's fascinating. This effect doesn't activate in everyone's brain the same way. Some people's minds simply don't respond to temporal landmarks. For them, Tuesday, December 31st and Wednesday, January 1st are neurologically identical. There's no mental reset, no symbolic power, just continuity. This isn't dysfunction, it's variation. Their motivational architecture is built differently.
Let's dig deeper into motivation itself. Self-determination theory distinguishes between two types: extrinsic motivation, which comes from external rewards, social pressure, or environmental cues, and intrinsic motivation, which comes from internal values, personal interest, and inherent satisfaction. People who get excited about New Year often draw energy from extrinsic sources. The collective enthusiasm is contagious. The social ritual provides structure. The external marker creates urgency. But people who don't celebrate New Year tend to be heavily intrinsically motivated. Their drive doesn't depend on what day it is or what everyone else is doing. They change when internal dissatisfaction reaches a threshold, not when the calendar tells them to. Research shows intrinsically motivated individuals often have more sustainable change patterns. They're less affected by motivational peaks and crashes because their fuel source is constant. They don't need January 1st to give them permission to improve. The downside? They can appear unmoved by things that excite others. They might seem detached during celebrations, but internally, they're often deeply engaged with their own growth, just on their own timeline. Here's an uncomfortable truth that New Year non-celebrators instinctively understand. Behavior change is brutally difficult, and a date on the calendar doesn't change that. Research on habit formation shows it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, with significant variation depending on complexity. The neurological pathways that support old behaviors don't vanish because you made a resolution. Your environment, triggers, and stress responses remain the same. People who don't celebrate New Year often have what psychologists call an incremental theory of change. They believe transformation happens gradually through consistent effort, not through decisive moments or sudden insights. This makes them skeptical of New Year's promises, not because they're pessimistic, but because they're realistic. They've probably tried the resolution approach before and watched it fail. So instead of investing emotional energy in a symbolic fresh start, they invest in sustainable systems. They'd rather make a small change in March that sticks than make 10 promises in January that dissolve by February. This approach lacks the dramatic appeal of New Year's transformation stories, but it often yields better long-term results. The paradox? By not celebrating the fresh start, they often make more actual progress.
There's another layer here that's often misunderstood: emotional regulation and social expectations. Most cultural celebrations come with an implicit script. You're supposed to feel excitement on New Year's Eve, gratitude on Thanksgiving, joy on your birthday. And when you don't feel those emotions on cue, it can create a sense of being broken or different. But emotional maturity often involves developing what psychologists call emotional autonomy, the ability to feel what you genuinely feel rather than what you're supposed to feel. People who don't celebrate New Year have often developed this independence. They don't manufacture excitement to match social expectations. They're comfortable with emotional neutrality. They can observe others celebrating without feeling obligated to join or feeling superior for abstaining. This is frequently misinterpreted. Family members might call them negative. Friends might accuse them of being a buzzkill. Society reads their calm as coldness. But research on emotional regulation suggests this independence is actually a sign of psychological health. These individuals aren't suppressing emotion. They're simply not generating emotion in response to arbitrary cues. They save their emotional energy for things that genuinely matter to them. Finally, let's talk about time perception. Most New Year's celebrations are intensely focused on the moment, the countdown, the midnight kiss, the first sunrise of the year. It's about capturing and savoring a specific point in time. But some people have what researchers call an extended time perspective. They think in decades, not days. They measure their lives in trajectories, not timestamps. For these individuals, January 1st holds no special power because every day is equally significant in the larger pattern. Missing a workout on January 5th doesn't feel like failure because they're measuring success over the entire year. Progress in July counts just as much as progress in January. This mindset has profound implications. It reduces anxiety around specific moments. It prevents the all-or-nothing thinking that destroys most New Year's resolutions. It creates patience for gradual improvement. The challenge? These people can seem unmoved by milestones that energize others. They don't celebrate small wins as enthusiastically. They might forget their own birthday. They're playing a different game entirely.
So what does all this mean? If you're someone who doesn't celebrate New Year, you're not broken. You're not lazy or negative or emotionally stunted. Your motivational system simply operates differently. You don't need symbolic fresh starts because you treat every day as an opportunity. You don't rely on collective energy because your drive is internal. You don't attach meaning to calendar dates because you measure progress across longer timescales. But here's what's important. Neither approach is superior. The person who gets energized by New Year's Eve and successfully uses that momentum to change their life, that's valid. The person who quietly works on themselves throughout the year without fanfare, also valid. The key is self-awareness. Understand how your mind works. Don't force yourself to feel excitement you don't feel. But also, don't dismiss the approaches of others. Psychology teaches us that human variation is the norm, not the exception. Some brains respond to ritual and symbolism. Others respond to logic and systems. Both can lead to growth, meaning, and fulfillment. So whether you're celebrating tonight or treating it like any other evening, you're exactly where you need to be. Thanks for watching.